Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, Noob from the Ville, here to talk to you about Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 6, the Interstellar Song Contest. But first, let me tell you a little story. Now, I know you've heard me talk about this before. When I was in school, I was in some of the AP classes. I was in the Gifted and Talented program, Talented and Gifted, whichever. But in high school, due to some trauma, due to not receiving therapy, I rebelled. I did whatever in the hell I wanted to do. To a degree. My mama didn't play that, but to a degree. A lot of what she didn't know wouldn't hurt her. I missed a lot of school. Like a lot. Now, I was at school damn near every day. But that first half of the day, yeah, I didn't make it to a whole lot of them classes. I don't know what I had at the beginning of the day. I ain't make it. I might even be at school, but I'm in the gym, study hall, somewhere, just not in class. But my teachers couldn't stand my ass. I was one of very few black faces in them classes. And many of my teachers thought that I didn't have any business being in those classes because I didn't take them seriously. Not that I had trauma, not that I was dealing with anything, but no, you don't belong here because you don't take this seriously. And now there was another dude I was cool with who was in class. We didn't hang out, but he was cool, another black face. And it was almost like every time when they tried to come down on me and I didn't give a damn, they would come down on him. Like, you know, he don't belong here and you don't belong here. Now, he took that to heart. I didn't give two shits. He took it to heart, and he even talked to me about, why are you making things hard for me? LeBret, I ain't making nothing hard for you. I ain't you. I understand now what he was saying then. But at the time, I was like, what does what I have to do with you? Because not only that, you come and you show up every day, you study hard, and you are exactly who they want you to be. While me, I'm breaking the mold, I'm exactly who I want to be. And they can't stand it, because I'll miss 2 weeks of school, come in, take the test, and get a straight A. And they be like, you cheated. Prove it. Matter of fact, give me the test right now, out loud. We're going to see who knows. Maybe you shouldn't even be teaching this class. Let's put that up. You want to bet that? Bet that. I was bold. I was defiant as hell. I was angry. For reasons that had nothing to do with school. But I was. I got a rude wake-up call around graduation time. And for whatever reason, my teachers were elated that I was finally going to get my consequence, my comeuppance. It wasn't what they thought, but they thought that they could stop this train. I was like, this shit doesn't mean anything. Now, little buddy that was in class with me, he got to the point where he finally had enough. He didn't have that bounce back. And you know, and the thing is, a lot of people go through a lot of different things, and he hadn't been through what I'd been through, so he responded differently to threats. Last I heard about him, he was doing a bid in prison because as smart as he is, as smart as he was, he finally became exactly who they expected him to be. Let's talk about it. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, Noob from the Ville, and I'm here to talk to you about Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 6, the Interstellar Song Contest. Now, if you've seen any of the previews, you've seen it, you said this is pretty much Eurovision, which is a competition I had no idea about. I wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't for this trash-ass movie by Will Ferrell. And then you throw in a little bit of Die Hard and you have Interstellar Song Contest. Now, the Doctor and Belinda arrive at the Harmony Arena, which is a space station, this huge arena in space that hosts the Interstellar Song Competition. We are about 900 years in the future. And it is a universe-wide singing competition. The Doctor takes out his futuristic guitar, that's the Vindicator, to get points so that they can get back to the day they need to get back to on Earth. While they are there, they both love this competition. They decide that they're going to stay and enjoy the competition. They've hijacked some VIP seats from some other people. Just so happens to turn out that they decide to stay when there's a heist, because that's what the TARDIS does. Always drops them off in the middle of some shit. Two Hellions from the planet Helia. I know, it makes you think about Vin Diesel and Riddick, you know, Furians from the planet of Furia. But this kid ain't no damn Vin Diesel, so. One named Kid and the other named Win Aura Kin decide to hijack the space station, and they're going to kill all the spectators as revenge. And they hijack all the little robots that are working the event to work for them. They take over the control room. They blow the dome that lets all the air out and sucks like 100,000 people out into the space. But the Doctor had done something before that. He, you know, using the sonic screwdriver, he rigged it so it put like a protective bubble around the whole thing. The people still froze and they're not dead. They just need to be revived. We'll come back to that later. The girl, Win Aura Kin, she was working on inside. She was working in the control room. So she aided and abetted Kid in this takeover plot. Now what he did was he hooked up a bomb to the system that was what they called a delta wave. And for the 3 trillion people in the universe who are watching the competition, once he hit the bomb, once it detonated, it would fry the brain of everyone watching the signal. So it's basically going to kill 3 trillion people. And he wanted revenge because the corporation took over their planet for honey, the honey plants, honey artificial flavoring, but they basically destroyed the entire planet for honey. The Doctor was one of the people who were sucked outside, and in some old The Last Jedi Princess Leia bullshit, he found a confetti cannon and fired the confetti cannon to propel him across the expanse of space back into the space station. Sure. Okay. I mean, we're watching a time-traveling alien who regenerates into new bodies, and you know, so at some point, if you haven't suspended your belief yet, I mean, you know, let's not get super technical now like this is Star Trek. Okay, keep watching. Anyway, when he gets inside, he meets Gary and Mike. Gary and Mike are a couple who just happen to have been the seats that the Doctor and Belinda stole. Gary is some sort of doctor, and I take that back. Mike is some sort of doctor. Gary is a whiz in IT and tech. That becomes an issue later. We'll get to that. Now, this whole time when the Doctor gets back, he thinks that Belinda was sucked outside and that Kid and Win Aura have killed maybe not only Belinda, but all the other people. And we've seen the doctor angry before, but this is a different kind of angry. Like, to me, the doctor being angry, nothing trumps, let's say, how he was on Waters of Mars, or maybe even Family of Blood. Like, those are next level anger for the doctor. And there have been several others where you've seen the doctors really, really upset. Matt Smith was really upset a few times. Peter Capaldi has been angry a few times. Christopher Eccleston spent the entire season angry, so but that's a given. The doctor threatens Kid, and he's unhinged. He talks crazy to him, and he said he gonna get that ass. You killed my friend. I promised her I would get her back. I'm responsible for her. And then when he found out the dude gonna kill 3 trillion, the doctor got beside himself, and he started shocking the shit out of Kid. He's shocking him like, Belinda shows up. The doctor stops, they apprehend Kid. They figure out a way to turn the light into like a tractor beam, pull all the 100,000 people in there. Gary figured that out. And then Mike, being a whiz of a doctor himself, he started turning the VIP pods and things like that to a place to revive all the people. And they eventually pulled in all 100,000 people. Now, another thing that happened was Mrs. Flood, who's been in almost every episode, was there. And at the end, she was the last person pulled in and revived. But something happened that I don't have the knowledge yet. And it's one of the problems on us watching the way that we watch. So we watch all of Ncuti, and then we went back to season 1, but we've only finished 9 seasons. So we're not caught up. There's a small gap, 10, 11, 12, and 13 before we're caught up. So we're still 4 seasons behind. Mrs. Flood says that she was out there too long, and she starts to regenerate. She calls herself a time lady. What? But not only that, hold up, there's more. When she regenerates, she does what she says is bi-generate. And she goes from 1 Mrs. Flood to 2 people. And the lady that pops out of her, she says that she's the Ronnie. She says that Mrs. Flood is a Ronnie, but she is the Ronnie. The hell? And apparently she wants revenge on the doctor. They ready to go to Earth to do this final showdown, but I am excited and confused because I don't know what the hell's going on. You know that I love my quotes, and I have 3 short quotes, but 3. The first one is by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and he says, "For what it's worth, it's never too late to be who you want to be." The second quote, I don't know who it comes from, but they said, "You'll never know who you are unless you shed who you pretend to be." And the third one, again from an unknown author, says, "When someone tells you you've changed, it might simply be because you stopped living your life their way." Now, even though this particular episode is called the Interstellar Song Contest, I am calling this Media Therapy Deep Dive What You Expect. When I told that story at the beginning, part of it was what my teachers expected out of me. And I get that. You know, am I upsetting them if they don't expect a lot out of me and I don't really give them a lot? Am I upsetting them if they expect a lot out of me and I don't give them that? I don't know. What's really important is what do you expect out of yourself? Because at the end of the day, that's who you have to answer to. You. Other people will always have expectations on you, and sometimes it's hard to live your life without letting other people put their expectations on you. You can go through your entire day and be upset with people because you expect them to act like you act. If you're kind and courteous, you're upset with a person because they're not, because they're narcissistic, because they're an asshole. They're not you. And it's hard to not put those type of expectations on people. We think that people should be kind just because. And a lot of people are not wired that way. They're not built that way. I call this what you expect because there's a pivotal part of this episode where the main diva of this competition, like she can absolutely blow. She's in the show, she's called Cora Saint Bavier. In real life, her name is Miriam Teak Lee. I've never heard of Miriam Teak Lee before, and she may be a wonderful actress, she may be a wonderful singer, but in this, it turns out that because of what people expected, she hid who she was. She was in disguise the entire time. Her entire life, almost, she had been in disguise because she was actually a Hellion too. The thing is, the rumor, the legend about the Hellions was that they worshiped the devil, they were cannibals, and they drank people's blood, and they worshiped, dark spirits, and they worshiped demons and dark spirits, blah, blah, blah. Now, I would guess that part of the propaganda about the Hellions was spread by the corporation. We just saw it in another show that recently ended, and we did a review for it, reaction on Centel's channel, Star Wars Andor. Now, while the second season damn near put me to sleep the first half, the second half of the season, episodes 8 through 12 specifically, are some of the best TV that I've seen this year. Just fantastic. I think it was the first time that 5 episodes in a row all received above a 9.5 rating on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. All 5 of the last episodes. Extremely high rated, and it's worth it. However, what we saw in that was that the propaganda that the Empire started on a planet helped to derail the planet so that the Empire could take it over. And I'm sure after watching that, that sounds plausible in this particular episode. The corporation wanted something from this planet. The people weren't about to give it up, so they found a way to take it. And not only take it, but have everyone else on their side. They used the media, they used propaganda to spread the kind of lies that they wanted, so people sided with them, so they didn't fail in the court of public opinion. We could have some of that very same stuff going on in our country right now. It is what it is. What do you do? Point being, the Hellion kid told the little person who was running the show, I think she was the producer, executive producer of the Interstellar Song Contest, that what I'm doing right now by killing everyone, by blowing up a bomb to kill trillions of people, I'm being exactly who you expect me to be. These are stories you told about me. This is who you think I am? Bet. You want a bad guy? Bad guy here now. The thing was, Cora had hid who she was because all she wanted to do was sing. But she knew with the horns, they have these horns that grow out the back of her head and come over. With those, no one would ever give her a chance. No one would ever listen to her because of her heritage. And we deal with that a lot. And yes, she was a black female alien. So I don't know if they had a thing on their planet about the color of your skin. However, so that everyone had a problem with Hellions, because Kid was white, Win Aura was white, but they were Hellions, so people shut them off. Even though Win Aura was working there, and the little person who was the boss, she said, I gave you a job when no one else would. I believed in you and let you work here when no one else would, because you are Hellion, and this is the repayment I get. Now, when Aura was bitter and her planet, her family was destroyed, and she actually said to Cora, she said, you escaped, you left me. What have you ever done for the planet, for our people, for our home? And in true Disney fashion, Cora went before the world at her turn to sing her song, and she told everyone who she was, where she really came from, and she sang a song. I don't know if it's a theme song, the national anthem, or whatever, but she sang a song to let everybody know about the plight of Hellia and what the corporation did. And at first, it went over hard. Like, people didn't know what to make of it because the song was beautiful. But then, of course, Gary and Mike from the Wings, they started clapping. Then everyone started clapping. Like, they did a for real slow clap. Like, oh, yeah. And everyone started clapping. And it was, it went over big. That is some Disney shit if I ever saw it. Because I don't know if it really works like that in real life. Like, not everybody gets the point. Matter of fact, the fact that no one heckled her, no one had some ugly stuff to say, because that's how people are. They turn on you in a heartbeat. You were their hero 12 seconds ago. And then as soon as this pedestal that they have you on, as soon as they hear something that doesn't align with that, they will turn on your ass so fast. Your ideal self is who you dream of becoming. Your should-be self is who others expect you to be. Your actual self is who you truly are. Which one of these are you? Are you your actual self right now? Or are you your should-be self? How close are you to being your ideal self? I can't answer any of those questions for you. And the thing is, when I ask you those questions, I'm asking myself those questions because, I don't know, I think I'm a little closer to my actual self than my should-be self, but I am not really that close to my ideal self. What self do you want to be? And what steps do you got to do? And what steps do you have to take to get there? This is Rakai Steed, new from the Ville. Make sure that you like this. Share this as much as possible. Leave me some comments. Are you who people expect you to be? Are you who you expect you to be? Which self are you dealing with? Actual, should be, or ideal? What do you think about the episode? We're getting close to the end, allegedly, of the 15th Doctor, the Ncuti era. What do we think about that? And if for some reason you haven't subscribed, hit the button, subscribe, and watch the videos. There may be something that really resonates with you. And remember that if you're watching a short, click on the button in the short to see what video it came from. Because some of these shorts, I'll be looking at them and I was like, whoa, that is way out of context. Remember, everything we watch, we use this, but it's even more important to use this.